Why do you have Dylan Raiola as the best quarterback in the Big Ten?
So first of all, this conference and a lot of the quarterbacks in the country, there's not really a lot of proven starters. There's not a lot of guys that we feel like are truly next up. And it's even crazier when you look at the upcoming quarterback class for the 2026 NFL draft. Usually you kind of have that sense of, oh, this guy's going to be a first rounder. That guy's going to be a first rounder. There's really no answers. I'm betting on upside. I'm going with who I think is going to end up playing the best this upcoming season, and that is going to really take his team to the next level. I saw as a true freshman, there's two guys that I'm going to talk about a lot this offseason, Dylan Raiola and DJ Lagway. I saw from Raiola that he took his team to heights that they would not have accomplished without him. He is able to make some unreal throws and some incredible plays for what he was as a true freshman. He now has another offseason, another spring to improve and to get better. He has the chance to better mesh with his team and an improved roster to help be more competitive this year. It's a little bit of a volatile pick, but when you have these traits, these rare abilities to take deep shots, to have the touch, the timing, all of those things to eventually be a top 5 pick in the NFL draft when he does declare, I'm willing to go all in on him being a sophomore. We're not talking about a guy that was a, one-time, started a couple of games like Nico was coming into last year. He has a full season of tape. He had some highs, he had some lows, and this is that year where I think he takes the next step.
Here's why I have him at number 5, okay? I see, here's the interesting thing. I actually agree with a lot of what you said. I do think that he can take a next step. They are going to a full air raid here, I would expect, with Dana Holgorsen.
Yep.
It's going to open some things up for him. Who's he going to throw to? And I think that I don't know if I can make a fair evaluation of them because they were bad in a lot of instances. They fired their offensive coordinator, and I think that that's got to put it, on that it's not all on him, and he did elevate them in times because of how bad things were around him. I mean, look, man, they fired their OC midway through the season. Okay, Dana Holgorsen was the OC midway through the season. Here's the thing with me, though, Joe, with him. I do think, to your point, that things will start slowing down for him, okay? I don't think that he's playing I don't think he's playing his game, though. I think he's trying to play somebody else's game. Now, people will hear me say that and be like, well, Blake's just calling him the clone of Mahomes. Joe, I do think that he doesn't play inside the structure a little too much or outside the structure a little too much for me at the current moment, and he's trying to do too much. I brought this up to bring this. Here was what he did in the fourth quarter of every single game this year. He was 61% completion percentage guy, 5.9 yards per pass. The problem with me is that he had 1 touchdown and 4 interceptions. Okay, I thought when they were in close games, which he had the most passing attempts in the margin from 0 to 7, things got really funneled for him. Again, freshman, how do you do that? But here's the thing. Joe, he got sacked 10 times. It quadrupled the amount of times that he got sacked in the entire season for the first 3 quarters. Again, there's a lot on him. I don't disagree, and I see your argument with him being at number 1 because the prospect, the kid is insanely talented. Mm-hmm. I feel like I need to see more of him as a decision maker. All the tools and traits. I thought when he was in close games that it wasn't necessarily the team that was always letting things down. I thought he tried to do too much. Again, freshman mistakes. But I look at him and say, man, he needs to start playing his game a little bit more. One other thing, Joe, he's got to be better inside the pocket. He's got to be better inside the pocket. You look at, you can go to these splits on ESPN. Inside the pocket, Joe, but this is insane. 60% completion percentage inside the pocket, 72% outside the pocket.
I would argue that that's a clear indicator to me that he's able to improvise really well. I consider that. I understand that he needs to be better from the pocket, but 72% from outside the pocket is, that's unreal. It is unreal. A picture of how talented he is.
The problem with that, though, is is he's improvised. I see it the opposite way.
Okay.
I see it the opposite way in this instance. Stay with where you're at. And by the way, you got to do that in this new offense that you're playing in. You don't improvise. You cannot improvise as a quarterback in the air raid. You can. You can Caleb Williams it somewhat, but you got to play inside the structure. I think it's why Caleb, as an example, I'm not going down that rabbit hole again. We don't need to argue that. I think he's going to be good. I don't want to put him above 3. I would have a debate with him at 3, 4, 5. I can't put him as the best quarterback in the Big Ten, though.
I don't want to get to Drew Aller just yet, but the guy he's compared to is Drew Aller. And Drew Aller, in his second season as a starter, had a lot of the same problems that Dylan Raiola did. Now, Aller had much better statistical performance because, again, it was his second full year as a starter, so he did show signs of improvement. I think with Raiola, I'm going off of the fact that he was a true freshman last year. Like, we're not talking about a guy that was a sophomore or anything else. There is just a general instinct that you see with quarterbacks that you know that he has it. That you know that Dylan Raiola just gets it. He gets how to play the position. He gets that once he gets more reps and more opportunities, that he's going to improve. I think that this is a huge projection that I'm going with here. But the concerns that you bring up to me are freshman mistakes. They're freshman issues. Those were issues that were going to happen, that when he had that amazing beginning of the season, it was very clear that wasn't going to last the entire year. It was very clear at some point, hey, him being a freshman is going to set in at some point. But the fact that he showed all those highs that we, frankly, haven't really gotten from Drew Aller, highs that we haven't gotten from other guys in the Big Ten or even in the country. That is why I'm willing to bank on him, that even if he doesn't take 100% leap forward and say he's 70% better, that to me is going to be better than the rest of the conference.
God, I can't go there. I need it. I can't go there right now. How about that? I want to emphasize, I do not disagree that is a very strong possibility that can happen. He has the physical ability and capability to be the best quarterback in this conference. As of right now, I just can't go there because I need to see better decision making from him. And I want to say something, but I know I'll get college football canceled. How about that?
Okay, you'll get called a non-ball knower.
There you go. You know how I am with quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
I judge them from an off-field and on-field perspective more than any other position. I just want to see better decision-making because I saw 4 years of a kid that went to 4 different schools. I saw when he got on the field some bad decision-making. I just want to see better decision-making. Does that make sense? Like, again, all the tools in the world, just need to see the better decision-making before I give him the number 1 nod.